So let's dive into today's episode. You can't out hustle your wounds. Healing is the missing link in leadership. Here we're going to be revealing how unresolved traumas and limiting beliefs drive your overwork, and then how healing literally transforms your performance.
Thank you guys for joining us for another episode of Think Your Way to an Epic Life. And today we're diving right into something that is destroying achievers worldwide. And most people, they don't even realize that they're doing it. So here's a stat that will probably terrify you. According to DHR's Global 2025 Workforce Trends Report, 82% of employees are now at risk of burning out. That's an all-time high, guys. But what's even scarier is searches for burnout signs and symptoms are up 50% worldwide just this year. So, according to Instant Office's global study of 30 major cities, Ariana Huffington was at the absolute peak of her success. She was building HuffPost, working 18-hour days. The media mogul everyone admired until one day in 2007, and she collapsed while on the phone checking emails. She woke up in a pool of blood with a broken cheekbone and cuts over her eye. Here's the thing, guys. Everyone around her could see that she was burning out, but she couldn't see it. And later she said, I bought into this collective delusion that overwork and burnout are the price that we have to pay to succeed. How many of us are guilty of that? How many of us think that you have to kill yourself to make it? But what Ariana discovered and has changed everything, Dr. Ron, what she discovers is exactly what we see happening in the brains of every single person who just can't stop working, even when it is literally killing them.
And, that's right, Kara. What happened to Ariana wasn't a character flaw or a lack of willpower. Her brain was doing exactly what it was designed to do. And that is protect her from something that felt far more dangerous than exhaustion. Here's what most people don't understand. The human brain has three primary responses to threat. That's fight, flight, or freeze. There's also a fourth response that becomes really epidemic in our achievement-driven culture, and that's escape. When we experience trauma, and I'm not just talking about the big traumas of life, but the small t traumas that occur in all of our childhoods, traumas like emotional neglect, criticism, feeling like you're not enough. Well, the brain learns that certain inner states are dangerous, they're uncomfortable, they're not safe to be in. The amygdala, our brain's alarm system, starts firing every time we approach being quiet, stillness, rest. And why? Well, because in those quiet moments, we might actually feel something that we don't feel safe feeling. We might have thoughts and we recognize that aren't comfortable for us to have. And those are things that we're running from. So our brain says, oh, avoid that. Let's not go there. That prefrontal cortex, which should be regulating this response, it literally gets hijacked by the limbic system, that survival programming. So the brain finds, the perfect solution. Stay busy. So yeah, I don't want to look at that. I don't want to be there. Can't be quiet. So let's just stay busy. Work becomes a socially acceptable drug. The dopamine hits the checking, for checking things off the list. And, adrenal comes in with the constant deadlines, and it's the cortisol that keeps us wired. And it's all serving one purpose, keeping us from having to face what's buried underneath, deep inside.
And guys, this is where it gets really tricky because this escape pattern doesn't always look like workaholism. For me, it showed up as endless scrolling. I'd find myself consuming way too much, looking at things that did make me feel good. Things like the soldiers coming home and the families and the surprising them and the crying and the happy dogs and the kids playing and all of that stuff. It made me feel good, and it looks pretty innocent, but guys, it really isn't. I was spending way too much time avoiding something that was deeper. I didn't realize that's what I was doing, but I was avoiding things that were deeper. And so I was working with someone and they asked me the question, and it truly changed everything. And they said, when you're doing that, what is it that you're avoiding? And when I really had to look in and think about it, it was like, oh, it's eye-opening, right? And so I realized that I had this huge desmoid tumor, and I had read this book called Radical Remission. And it's about a doctor who had studied 1,500 patients who had completely healed without any medical intervention whatsoever. And they all did 10 specific things. Well, I've been on this path for years, and I had already figured out 8 of those 10 things from different sources. And I was doing, that 80%, right? It's not bad, not a bad score. But there were 2 things that I wasn't doing. And one of them was accepting social support. I didn't talk about it to anyone. Like, I just acted like, put on my blinders, bury that under the rug, and it might go away. And the other was releasing past trauma. And guys, that is how I met Dr. Ron. That was perfect. He came onto this podcast, and it was exactly what I needed. I had just found out that I had to do that, and he is. Would expert be appropriate?
I'll let you call it.
I'm telling you guys, absolute expert. And he didn't let me pull the wool over his eyes. He didn't, he dug down in and helped me get that stuff out. I had stuff stuffed in a cave. I've heard it said that the issues are in the tissues, and you guys, it is an absolute fact. Your body holds all of the trauma, big trauma, little trauma. It holds it until you deal with it. And that's what Dr. Ron and I now get to do for a living, is guide people through their trauma. And it's really, really amazing. So I finally faced what I've been avoiding my entire life. Guys, I'm in my late 50s, and I have avoided it and gotten through life doing it my way, but I had this tumor, and it was big and it was growing. Since I've been working with Dr. Ron now for over a year, it has shrunk by 25%. So guys, whether it's scrolling or it's shopping or it's perfectionism or any other socially acceptable behavior, if you can't stop doing it, you're probably avoiding something big.
I often say, people think they're in control of their mind, and I'll just quietly say, okay, stop thinking. They go, what? Stop thought. Yeah, well, no, I can't do that. So yeah, you don't have control of your mind. You don't have control of your life. So let's figure out what you're avoiding. Karen and I are going to give you 4-sentence stems, just beginning to sentences. And I want you to take a deep breath in. For each one of these, you're going to breathe in. And then during your exhale, you're going to say the first part that we've shared with you. But we want you just to complete it with whatever comes out. Now, not thinking about what should I say, how should I say it, what will it sound like, any of that. This is just for you. And the truth is, if you're thinking about what you're going to say, you're only going to discover what you know you know. If you just spontaneously say it, then you're going to discover that what you're aware of that you actually know. All right? All right. So don't think, just speak. Karen,
There.
you want to give the first one?
Absolutely. So guys, take a really good deep breath in. And then on the exhale, say out loud, when I'm not busy, and finish it. Okay. Take another good deep breath in. When I'm not busy, just whatever falls out, guys, don't think, just go inside and maybe close your eyes and just really do this for yourself. When I'm not busy, again, when I'm not busy. So you're digging into your subconscious, guys. That's what's happening, and you're getting answers. It takes a little while, but once you get the hang of it, it's great.
Let's just move into another one. Again, saying and completing it with each of your breaths. Big breath in, saying and completing, the thing I'm most afraid to face is whatever comes out. Doesn't matter whether it's true or right or sounds funny. And again, breathing in full and deep. During with the exhale, saying and completing, the thing I'm most afraid to face is. You're doing great. Stay with it. Breathing in full and deep. The thing I'm most afraid to face is. Finishing that up and doing it a couple more times on your own. Just quiet your mind and let whatever comes out come out. Great. Carol?
All right, guys, I'm going to give you another one. And just take a good deep breath in. If I stopped working so much, I might have to deal with, might be a little convicting. Again, if I stopped working so much, I might have to deal with, and you might even change that working word to whatever it is, if it's scrolling or gambling or whatever, you might want to throw that in there on your own. Take a good deep breath in. If I stopped working so much, I might have to deal with, again, if I stopped working so much, I might have to deal with, one more time. If I stopped scrolling so much, I might have to deal with,
Okay, nice going. And we're going to do one more. This is an interesting one, so let it just come out. What I'm really running from is, big breath in, saying and completing. What I'm really running from is, you're not going to know this. Let your mind tell you. Let that subconscious come to the surface and share with you. Breathing in, again, saying and completing. What I'm really running from is, let that different voices within you share what they're doing, not just that voice that you use to control all the rest. One more time. What I'm really running from is, way to go. Yeah.
you guys are doing great. And this is for you, and nobody's looking at you. So playful out, it works. It absolutely does. So take just a moment and reflect on what just came up for you. Just kind of think about it. Notice maybe what your body is telling you right now. These are not random thoughts. This is your inner wisdom speaking. So here's what makes this even more complex, especially for achievers. Look around. You've probably got the house and the car and the income that most people envy. From the outside, you have made it. But inside, there's something missing, and you can't turn it off, and you can't relax, and you can't enjoy what you've built. And guys, I feel that in my heart and soul. I am living in my dream house. And for the first 5 years, I did not enjoy it at all. I was just so stressed. I was trying to keep up. It was just blah. So please, please, please do these and stick with us through this whole series, guys. It's definitely going to be worth it to you. And here's why it makes sense, because it's the same patterns that you developed to escape pain also became your strategy for creating safety through control, right? And so you created safety that way. And maybe you're already starting now to kind of see the cracks and working harder and getting less return. Your team is walking around on eggshells, right? About your standards. Your family feels like they can't measure up. Your body is saying, yo, hey, what about me? That nagging feeling that despite all the success, there's something still really big missing. And here's what nobody tells you about that control pattern that you've got here. It has an expiration date. And when it expires, it takes everything with it. You're standing at a crossroads right now, guys. You have an opportunity. You can see the pattern while you still have the power to change it. Or you can keep going until your body, your relationships, your business, something forces you to stop. Or, Dr. Ron?
Yeah, let's get honest about where you're headed. Let's move into the sentence completion and really take a look. And what I'm supporting you in doing is really, you know what you know. That's not going to be of any help. What you're looking for is what you're not aware of. And so you really need to trust. You really need to breathe and let go. You really need to just be spontaneous and let those deeper truths come out. You can do that. And I know that's where it's going to get interesting and exciting for you. So big deep breath in, and during and with your exhale, repeat the sentence stem and then complete it with whatever comes up. So big breath in, let's start with, if I keep controlling everything the way that I am now, in 5 years, where are you going to be in 5 years if you keep doing what you've been doing? Big breath in, saying and completing it again. If I keep controlling everything the way I am now, in 5 years, what? Big breath in, saying and completing it again. I keep controlling everything the way I am now, 5 years. A couple more times on your own. Yeah, let those deeper truths come out. That's it. Breathe and go. Nice. All right. Now, Carol, let's shift into that one.
Okay, another good deep breath in. The thing I'm most afraid of if I don't change is, good, good, good. Really, really do not think, just let whatever comes out. It might surprise you. Deep breath in. The thing I'm most afraid will happen if I don't change is, okay. The thing I'm most afraid will happen if I don't change is, what are you afraid of? What has the doctor been saying to you? You know, where are you at? Stress, guys, is horrible. It wreaks havoc on your body. Another good breath in. The thing I'm most afraid of that will happen if I don't change is, okay, good job.
All right. Let's just stay with the breathing. Big breath in. My relationships are already showing signs that, yeah, not just at work, but in your personal life too, any and all of your relationships. Big breath in. My relationships are already showing signs that. What are you noticing? What are you feeling? What are you sensing? Big breath in. My relationships are already showing signs that. Completing with whatever comes up, even if it startles you or feels uncomfortable. Big breath in, and once more on your own. My relationships are. Let yourself feel that answer as you say it. Let yourself see. You're turning the subconscious into conscious so that you're aware of it. One more time. My relationships are already showing signs that. Way to go.
Great job, everybody. Take a good deep breath in. Last one. My body is trying to tell me. Again, breathe in. On the exhale, my body is trying to tell me, say the whole sentence that you're saying affirmations when you're hopefully close to theta level with your breathing. And close your eyes if you're distracted by anything. Take another good deep breath in. My body is trying to tell me. What is it telling you? What are you ignoring? What are you lying to yourself about? Another good deep breath in. My body is trying to tell me. Okay, last one. Take a good deep breath in. I'm beginning to understand. Dr. Ron?
Now you're starting to really see the truth. And I want you to understand that the breathing is a really major tool that you can introduce and use throughout your life, but also using it with sentence completion. Whenever you're feeling something and you're uncomfortable and you're not sure what it's really about, use the sentence completion. Well, one reason I'm feeling angry is, or one thing I'm afraid of is, and look deeper and deeper and go clear down into that unconscious aspect of your life so you can make it conscious, and that's when you can actually do something with it, heal it, move beyond, and evolve. So yeah, just using just this last experience, your unconscious mind has really been telling you exactly what's at stake. So if you let that just spontaneous answer come out, that's your unconscious communicating to you, almost like a different aspect of you that doesn't feel like it has a voice. Maybe it was quieted when you were a kid. So why is it so hard to let go of control? even when you see it's destructive and actually results in actually being more out of control. Let's just understand that a little bit. The brain's default mode network, a network that's active when we're not focused on a task, really gets hijacked by hypervigilance. And that's part of why you get exhausted. That's part of why you feel burnout, that hypervigilance, that hypervigilance gets exhausting. That anterior cingulate cortex, which processes emotional regulation, is constantly scanning for threats. So rather than just being present, you're working all the time. You're focused on finding something. The insula, which processes internal body sensation, has learned to interpret relaxation as danger. Because as we mentioned, in that quiet moment when we get in touch with our uncomfortable feelings and recognize thoughts that we don't feel safe having, that's not comfortable for us. That's not safe for you. You don't want that quieter mind, that being present, because then all those subconscious thoughts that you've been hiding and storing away might come forward. And so you do want to do that in a safe, supportive arena. So when you try to delegate or let go and relax, your nervous system literally just interprets that as a threatening situation. The brain just floods with stress hormones, creating a familiar feeling of, I don't do this myself, everything will fall apart. Or, what you say when you finally just give up on losing control and just, okay, I'll do it myself. And this isn't a weakness. This is a brilliant adaptive survival mechanism that you developed. As Kara said, the things that we did to survive as a child unfortunately becomes the things that sabotage our life as an adult. So we just get addicted to them, and habit wise, we just keep using them. So it's time for you to take a step back and refocus, reevaluate some of those old patterns and see if they're actually supporting you or limiting you in so many ways. But they keep you trapped in patterns that most likely worked. As I say, when you were a kid, they worked, but now they're sabotaging you.
Yeah, it's tough, guys. But here's what you do need to understand. Your brain created those patterns for a really, really good reason. You were a kid and you're trying to survive, and these control and escape mechanisms worked. They flat worked. They kept you safe. They drove your success, and there's nothing wrong with you.
So what I want you to understand is when somebody comes to me and tells me what they did as a child and they see that it didn't work, I congratulate them. I want them to really see the brilliance of what they did as a child and how well it did work, as Kara was sharing. And whatever you're going through now, quite literally, is nothing but an indicator that you're ready to evolve. So again, congratulations. It's not like, oh God, I'm back in square one and I don't know what to do. No, you're ready to evolve. When you start running into emotional situations or challenges in your life, those are just indicators that, oh, okay, those old ways aren't working anymore. I need to really learn to go within and access more of who and what I am, so I can continue to evolve and really celebrate my success as I continue to move forward. But well, here's what neuroscience says. I know I'm a bit of a nerd when it comes to that stuff, but might be helpful for you to understand. And this is genuine hope. The same brain that created those earlier patterns can rewire them. That neuroplasticity research clearly proves to us that we're not stuck in any limiting programs that you might have developed as a child. Just as if you walk a path and continuously for years, that you're going to get a pathway. But if you start going in a different direction, that pathway will grow in and that new pathway will get established. And the brain does that exact thing, and it does it very quickly. So, both Kara and I are products of this work. We've both been exactly where you are. We know what it's like to be successful on the outside while struggling on the inside. you know, I want you to really get there's zero judgment here from us, only understanding and a proven path forward.
Yeah, guys, our brains learn to escape through busyness, and they can learn to find peace in the present. The brain learned that control through hypervigilance can learn safety through trust. but it takes the right approach and it takes support. And see, you got into this mess in a relationship and you have to get out of it in a relationship. And that's exactly why we've created some powerful tools to help you through this journey. First thing we have is a comprehensive workbook that walks you through identifying your specific escape and control patterns. And it gives you concrete steps to rewire them. And guys, we're not just talking about, they can literally see now what everything has advanced so much. I mean, just look at artificial intelligence, but they can see the new connections being made. You are literally rewiring, just like Ron was saying. When you walk that same path, you get a path. But when you start going the other way, it changes. And that's what we can do. We use the same kind of approach in our coaching. Our clients that we're working with it's their individuals. And so what you see that we're doing here is general. It's fairly general because we don't know who our audience is, the end person that's watching this. And so it's pretty general. When you're working with one of us in person, it absolutely changes everything. In person or on Zoom, it changes everything because one of your answers might be really, really deep, something that you have not thought of or dealt with. And we're not just going to go to the next sentence that we're supposed to say. We're going to go into that. We're going to go deep. Or we have a guided hypnosis session where you can actually meet your future self. It's the version of you who has healed already, because you're going into this healing, guys. You're going through a tunnel, and it's really good to have a guide you through that tunnel. Well, you get to meet the version of you on the other side of it, and they can help you a lot. And so it's not woo-woo. It's based on neuroscience and visualization that helps your brain by creating those new pathways that we talked about, the neural pathways that we're talking about. So both of these resources are completely free to you. To get access to these, just check the show notes below and you can email myself and I'll send it to you, or you can email Dr. Ron and he'll send it to you. So let's finish this up with 6 final sentence completions that will help you step into your transformation. Dr. Ron?
Yeah, and really, as you're doing this, recognize that you're learning and you're learning new tools. You're learning to pay attention to your breathing. You're learning to use that breathing to open up the right brain when more emotionally oriented. You're using that breathing and sentence completion to really access subconscious thoughts, making them conscious. And like I say, you can use that throughout your life all the time. It just helps you become more self-aware, emotionally intelligent. Yeah. So practice it with that sort of thought in mind. So again, taking a full deep breath in, during the exhale saying, if I could let go of control, what? What would that be like? What would that feel like? What might happen? Breathing in, if I could let go of control, then perhaps, maybe, one more. If I could let go of control, I could. Okay, good. Karen? Okay.
Guys, you are doing so good. Thank you for sticking in. Hopefully, you're getting some incredible insights, and knowledge is power. So, good breath in. The person I could become if I healed these patterns is, okay, good deep breath in again. The person I can become when I heal these patterns is, okay, good. Proud of you guys. Keep going, keep going. Nobody's looking. Good deep breath. The person I can become when I heal these patterns is, good. Again, the person I can become when I heal these patterns is, gosh, don't you want to meet that person? One more time. Good, good, good. The person I can become when I heal these patterns is, I bet that person is amazing. Dr. Ron?
I've got a good one for you here. You ready? Big breath in. What I'm most excited about in my transformation is just even now, but in your future image of your transformation also. Think in terms of your whole life is evolving, you're transforming. Breathing in, saying and completing. What I'm most excited about in my transformation is seeing what comes out. If nothing comes out, then just take another breath in and say it again. No problem. What I'm most excited about in my transformation is, again, letting that unconscious, that subconscious come into the conscious. You're just getting to know yourself. That's all that's happening. You're getting to become more self-aware. Big breath in. What I'm most excited about in my transformation is good. Yeah, just let that subconscious stuff come out. Doesn't have to make sense, doesn't have to be true. Just get comfortable with it. And one
All
more,
right.
spontaneously finishing. What I'm most excited about in my transformation is way to go. Nice.
Okay, guys, I want you all to pretend that you are a very highly paid consultant and a huge company wants you to come in and consult with them, and they want you to fix their company. It's been losing for like 7 quarters in a row. It's going in the tubes, and they want you to come in, they want you to fix it, and they will pay you $8 million if you can fix it. They won't pay you anything if you can't fix it, but you only get to work on 5 to 10% of the company. You don't get to work on the other 90 to 95%. You don't get to talk to anybody. You don't get to have any influence in that. How many of you would take that deal? That's what we're doing when we're not searching into our subconscious, because our conscious mind is 5 to 10%. Our subconscious is running the show. And we're just introducing you to that so you get to know it. And here's your first step. Your brain is going to try to stop you from changing. That's its job. It's doing a really good job. You should say, thank you, brain. But we can fool it with something tiny. It's like walking to the mailbox instead of running a mile, or running a mile instead of running 5 miles, or running 5 miles instead of running a marathon. Your brain can't argue with something really small. So one small mindfulness practice I could commit to right now is, sorry, I didn't warn you. Okay, take a breath in. The one small mindfulness practice I will commit to right now is, one more time again. One small mindfulness practice I will commit to right now is, guys, just little steps will get you there. That's what we're looking for, is progress, not perfection. So we're asking for something small because your brain will resist the big changes. But just 2 minutes, no kidding, this has been studied, 2 minutes of conscious breathing daily can start to rewiring these patterns.
Now let's go with big breath in. What I'm most ready to get help with is big breath in. Yeah, don't get in your own way by trying to figure that out. Just no resistance. Don't worry about, oh, it costs too much or takes too much time or I'm afraid. Just let go of all of that and just really be honest with yourself. This is you. What I'm most ready to get help with is big breath in, saying and completing that several times. What I'm most ready to get help with is what? What in your life do you need help with? What aspect of your life? What I'm most ready to get help with is, one more time on your own. Good. Yeah.
All right, guys, you're doing great. You're doing great. So take another good deep breath in. If I could work with one of you or someone on your team, the first thing I'd address is,
Mm. Mm.
hopefully something came right to you there. Another good deep breath in. If I could work with you guys or someone on your team, the first thing I'd want to address is, one more time. If I could work with one of you two or someone on your team, the first thing I'd want to address is, okay, good job.
I want you to really understand that if what we've shared today resonates with you, If you're ready to break free from the patterns that are keeping you trapped in cycles of achievement without fulfillment, we want you to know that Kara and I, our team coaches, work with a very select number of achievers who are ready to do the deeper work. You can't, it's the thing. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. I can show somebody the path, but if they're not willing to breathe and step by step go down that path, then not anything I can do about that. We don't just teach coping strategies, which I see so much of, how to act as if, how to get through this situation, that circumstance. We help you to actually heal the root causes so that you can be present and confident enough so you can have the success and peace that you really deserve and I know you truly want. If you're curious about working with us directly, you can schedule a complimentary consultation with Kara and myself. And these links are in the show notes below.
Remember that you didn't choose these programs. They got programmed into you before you were 7 years old. You didn't choose them. However, the responsibility to change them lies squarely on your shoulders. You can't out-hustle your wounds, but guys, you truly can heal them. And when you do, you'll discover what Ariana Huffington learned, that real success includes well-being. It's not despite it. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you for having the courage to look in at what most people spend their entire lives avoiding at all costs.